My brother told me my wife wasn't invited to his wedding. He said it standing in my parents' driveway on a Tuesday afternoon. His arms were crossed. His face had that look, the one I'd seen my whole life when he was about to tell me something I had no choice about. Marcus, listen, Mom and Dad think it's better if Rachel doesn't come. You know how she gets. And this day is about Brittany and me. We don't want any drama. I stood there holding the envelope with the invitation. Single name only, Marcus Chen, no +1. What are you talking about? Rachel doesn't cause drama. Derek laughed, not a real laugh, the kind that makes you feel small. Come on, she's always talking about her degrees and her job. She makes everyone uncomfortable. Brittany's family is traditional. They won't understand someone like her. Someone like her, my wife of 6 years. The woman who worked 2 jobs to help me finish my engineering degree. The woman who sat with my grandmother every weekend when she was dying because the rest of my family was too busy. You're serious right now? Dead serious. Look, you can still come, be my best man, but Rachel stays home. Mom already talked to Dad about it. They agree. I felt something crack inside my chest. Not break, just crack, like ice on a lake when you're testing if it'll hold your weight. And if I say no? Derek's expression went cold. Then don't come at all, your choice. He walked back inside the house, left me standing there with that single invitation burning in my hand. I got in my car, drove home. Rachel was in the kitchen making dinner. She smiled when I walked in, that smile that used to make everything else disappear. How'd it go? Did you get the tux measurements? I couldn't look at her. They don't want you at the wedding. The wooden spoon in her hand stopped moving. She set it down slowly on the counter. What? Derek said you're not invited. Mom and Dad backed him up. They think you'll make people uncomfortable. Rachel's face went through about 5 different expressions in 3 seconds. Confusion, hurt, anger, then something else, something I'd never seen before. She walked past me, went into our bedroom, closed the door. I stood in that kitchen for 20 minutes before I followed her. When I opened the door, she was sitting on the edge of the bed. Her hands were folded in her lap. Her eyes were dry. You're going to go, aren't you? It wasn't a question. Rachel, he's my brother. And I'm your wife. I know, but this is his wedding. If I don't show up, my whole family will turn on me. You know how they are. She looked at me then, really looked at me. Yeah, Marcus, I know exactly how they are. She stood up and walked to the closet, started pulling out clothes. What are you doing? Packing. I'm going to stay with my sister for the week. You go to your brother's wedding, smile for the pictures. Laugh at their jokes about how I'm too ambitious or too educated or too whatever else makes them feel small. And when you get back, we'll talk about what kind of marriage we actually have. My stomach dropped. Rachel, come on. No, you made your choice, go. She zipped up the bag and walked past me without another word. I heard her car start 5 minutes later, heard her drive away. I sat on our bed in the empty house and told myself I was doing the right thing. Family comes first, that's what my parents always said. But the crack in my chest got a little wider. Derek Chen was everything our parents wanted in a son. He graduated top of his class, went to law school, got hired at a firm that made more money in a year than most people see in a lifetime. He bought a house in the right neighborhood. Drove the right car, dated the right kind of woman. Brittany Park came from money, old money. Her family owned half the commercial real estate in our city. When Derek brought her home for the first time, my mother actually cried, happy tears. She told everyone at church that her prayers had been answered. I grew up watching my parents' eyes light up when Derek walked into a room, watching them lean forward when he talked, hanging on every word. When I was 12, I won second place in a regional science fair, built a working model of a suspension bridge out of toothpicks and glue, spent 3 months on it. My parents missed the awards ceremony because Derek had a basketball game. He didn't even play that game, sat on the bench the whole time. But they were there cheering. When I graduated college, my dad shook my hand and said, "Good, now you can start paying us back for all those years of tuition." When Derek graduated law school, they threw him a party, invited 200 people. rented out a restaurant, made speeches about how proud they were, how he was going to change the world. I met Rachel 3 years after college. She was a project manager at a tech company, smart, driven, she had opinions about things. She didn't smile and nod when my father made jokes about women in the workplace. She didn't pretend to be less intelligent than she was to make people comfortable. My mother hated her immediately. She's too outspoken, Marcus. Men don't like women who challenge them. I like her. You're young, so you don't know what you need yet. When I proposed to Rachel anyway, my mother cried again, different tears this time. She told me I was making a mistake, that Rachel would ruin my life, that I was throwing away my future. My father didn't say anything at all, just looked disappointed. Our wedding had 40 people, Rachel's family, a few friends. My parents came but left early. Derek showed up an hour late and spent the whole reception on his phone. When Derek proposed to Brittany 2 years later, my mother planned the engagement party before he even told the rest of the family. 300 guests, live band, ice sculptures. I was expected to give a toast, stand up in front of all those people and talk about what an amazing man my brother was, how lucky Brittany was to have him. I did it, smiled, said the words. Rachel sat at our table and didn't say anything the whole night. When we got home, she poured herself a glass of wine and stared out the kitchen window. Why do you let them treat you like that? Like what? Like you don't matter. I didn't have an answer, so I didn't say anything. The week before the wedding, I called Rachel 12 times. She answered on the 13th. What? Her voice was flat, empty. Can we talk, please? About what, Marcus? About how you chose your brother over your wife, about how you're fine with them treating me like I'm not good enough to breathe the same air as their precious Brittany. That's not fair. You know what's not fair? Being married to someone who won't stand up for you, who lets his family disrespect me over and over because he's too scared to make waves. The words hit like fists. I'm not scared. Yes, you are. You've been scared your whole life, scared they'll stop loving you if you don't do exactly what they want. Newsflash, Marcus, they already don't love you, not the way you need them to. Rachel, I have to go have fun at the wedding. She hung up. I sat in our empty house and tried to remember the last time I'd stood up for her, really stood up, not just mumbled disagreement after the fact, not just made excuses for my family's behavior. I couldn't think of a single time. The crack in my chest split a little wider. 2 days before the wedding, my mother called. Marcus, darling, we need you to pick up the flowers on Saturday morning. The florist is near your house. Mom, I'm the best man. I have to be at the venue early. This will only take an hour. Derek is so busy with last-minute details, you understand. Always Derek, always his needs first. Fine. And Marcus, don't mention Rachel at the wedding. Some of Brittany's relatives are asking questions. We're telling people you're single. My hands went numb. You're what? It's easier than explaining. You know how people are. They'll ask why she's not there, and then we'll have to get into the whole thing about how she doesn't really fit with the family. This way, everyone can just enjoy the day. Mom, I'm married. We know that, dear. We're just simplifying things for the guests. She said it like it was reasonable, like erasing my wife from existence was the same as choosing white roses over pink ones. I'm not going to lie about being married. You're being dramatic. We're just avoiding unnecessary complications. Derek needs you to support him on his special day. Can you do that for once? For once. Like I'd spent my whole life causing problems, like I was the difficult one. I'll pick up the flowers. I hung up before she could say anything else. The envelope came on Friday. I was eating cereal at the kitchen table, trying not to think about how quiet the house was without Rachel. The doorbell rang. I opened it to find a courier holding a thick manila envelope. Marcus Chen. Yeah. Sign here. I signed. He handed me the envelope and left. The return address was a law firm I didn't recognize. Sanders, Mitchell & Howe, based downtown, expensive-looking letterhead. I opened it standing in the doorway. Inside was a letter, behind that a stack of documents, legal papers, official-looking seals. The letter was typed on cream-colored paper. Dear Mr. Chen, we represent Mrs. Rachel Chen in matters pertaining to her personal estate. Enclosed, you will find documents that require your immediate attention. These materials were entrusted to our firm with specific instructions for delivery. We advise you to review these documents in full before attending any family gatherings this weekend. The information contained within is time-sensitive and pertains directly to your family relationships. Should you have questions, our office will be available Saturday morning until 10 a.m. Regards, Patricia Sanders-esque. My hand started shaking. I walked to the kitchen table and spread out the documents, started reading. The first page was a property deed for my parents' house, the house I grew up in, the house they'd owned for 35 years. Except according to this deed, they didn't own it anymore. The house had been purchased 6 months ago by a trust, the Chen Family Trust, and the sole trustee was Rachel Chen. I read it 3 times. My wife owned my parents' house. The next document was a promissory note signed by my father. He'd borrowed $250,000 5 years ago from Rachel. The note had been due 2 years ago. He'd never paid it back. There was a payment schedule showing every missed payment, every late fee, every attempt Rachel had made to contact him about repayment. He'd ignored all of them. My stomach turned over. The next document was worse. It was a business filing, Derek's law firm, the one he'd bragged about for years, the partnership he'd worked so hard to achieve. Except he wasn't a partner. According to the documents, Derek was 3 months behind on his office rent. His firm was a solo practice with fancy letterhead, and he owed Rachel's company $75,000 for consulting services he'd never paid for. I kept reading. There were bank statements, credit reports, court filings. My parents were 6 months behind on their mortgage before Rachel bought the house out from under the foreclosure. Derek had 3 maxed-out credit cards and a car lease he couldn't afford. Brittany's family wasn't rich. They'd filed for bankruptcy 2 years ago, lost most of their properties. The few they still owned were underwater. Everything I'd believed about my family was a lie. They weren't successful, they were drowning. And Rachel had been keeping them afloat. The last page was a handwritten note, Rachel's handwriting. Marcus, I debated whether to give you this information. I've kept these secrets for years because I knew what it would do to you to learn the truth. I paid their bills. I saved their house. I gave Derek the money for his office. I did it all quietly because I loved you and I didn't want you to see your family the way I see them. But they've gone too far this time. I've spent 6 years propping up their illusions, letting them look down on me while I wrote the checks that kept their lives from falling apart. I did it for you, because you needed to believe they were something they're not. I'm done protecting them, and I'm done waiting for you to choose me. The wedding is tomorrow. You can go, stand next to your brother, smile for the cameras, pretend you're part of their perfect family. Or you can finally see them for what they are. The choice is yours, it always has been. Rachel. I sat at that kitchen table until the sun went down. Then I called the law firm, left a message for Patricia Sanders. Then I called Rachel. She answered on the first ring. Did you get it? Yeah, I got it. Silence. Rachel, why didn't you tell me? Would you have believed me, or would you have defended them like you always do? She was right. I would have made excuses, found reasons why it wasn't as bad as it looked, convinced myself there was some explanation. How long have you known? About your parents' house? 3 years. Your dad came to me desperate, said they were going to lose everything, begged me not to tell you, said it would break your heart. And Derek? 2 years. He needed money for his firm, promised he'd pay me back in 6 months. Never did. When I asked him about it, he told me I was being petty. That family doesn't keep score. The consulting services. I got him 3 major clients through my connections. He billed them, never paid me my percentage. When I followed up, he said I should consider it my contribution to his success. My hands were shaking again. And you never said anything. I tried, Marcus. Remember 2 years ago when I suggested we needed to talk about your family? You said I was being dramatic. Remember last Christmas when I asked if we could skip your parents' house? You said I was trying to cause problems. I did remember. I dismissed her every time, told her she was too sensitive, that she didn't understand family dynamics. I'm so sorry. Sorry doesn't fix this. You've spent 6 years choosing them over me, over us, and they've spent 6 years taking everything I gave them and treating me like garbage. What do you want me to do? I want you to decide who you are, the man they made you think you should be, or the man you actually could be. I don't understand. Tomorrow at the wedding, you have two choices. You can stand up there and play your role, let them keep pretending, keep the peace. Or you can tell the truth. My mouth went dry. Rachel, if I do that, my family will never forgive me. Your family has never valued you. They've used you. There's a difference. I need time to think. You've had 6 years. The wedding is tomorrow at 2 p.m. Whatever you decide, I'll know who you are after tomorrow, and I'll make my own decisions based on that. She hung up. I sat in the dark house with the documents spread across the table and tried to figure out who I was. I didn't sleep that night. Instead, I sat in the dark and let the memories come, the ones I'd been pushing down for years. I was 7 when Derek pushed me off the top of the slide at the park. I hit the ground wrong, broke my wrist. My mother ran over. Picked Derek up first, asked if he was okay, if he was scared. She drove us to the hospital with Derek in the front seat, me in the back holding my wrist, crying. At the hospital, she told the doctor I'd been careless, that I'd jumped off the slide even though she'd told me not to. Derek sat next to her eating cookies from the vending machine. I was 10 when I saved up 3 months of allowance to buy Derek a birthday present, a comic book he'd been wanting, first edition. I found it at a garage sale for $20, used all my money. He opened it at his party, in front of all his friends, looked at it, then looked at me. This is used, why would you buy me used stuff? His friends laughed. My mother took it from him, we'll exchange it for something nicer. She never did. I was 14 when I made the honor roll for the 3rd year in a row, straight A's. I brought the certificate home, put it on the fridge. My father looked at it while drinking his coffee. That's good, Marcus. Try to do better than just good grades though. Derek has grades and sports and leadership. Colleges want well-rounded students. He took the certificate down, put up Derek's basketball schedule instead. I was 17 when my grandmother got sick, really sick, lung cancer. She had 6 months. Everyone was too busy to visit her in the hospital. My parents had work. Derek had college applications. His future couldn't wait. So I went every day after school, sat with her, read to her, held her hand when she couldn't sleep because of the pain. She died on a Tuesday morning. I was holding her hand. At the funeral, my mother gave a speech about how devoted she'd been as a daughter, how she'd spent every possible moment with her own mother. She visited 3 times in 6 months. I was 20 when I got my first engineering job, decent pay, nothing special, but it was mine. I'd earned it. My father asked me how much I was making. When I told him, he shook his head. Derek's starting salary at the firm was double that. Maybe you should think about law school too. I was 23 when Derek borrowed my car and totaled it, ran a red light, hit another car, his fault. His insurance wouldn't cover it because he'd had too many tickets. My parents paid for his lawyer, helped him get the charges reduced. They told me I should understand, that I should be grateful no one was hurt. I took the bus to work for 8 months while I saved up for another car. I was 25 when I met Rachel. She asked me what I wanted out of life. No one had ever asked me that before. I didn't have an answer. She held my hand across the table at that coffee shop and said, "Then let's figure it out together." I was 28 when we got married. Small wedding, simple, perfect. Derek gave a toast, told everyone how proud he was of me, how I'd finally found someone who could handle me. The crowd laughed. Rachel squeezed my hand under the table so hard her knuckles went white. I was 30 when my father had a heart attack, mild, survivable. I took 2 weeks off work, stayed at the hospital. managed his medications, coordinated with the doctors. When he got out, he hugged Derek first. "Thanks for being here, son." Derek had shown up twice, both times for less than an hour. I was 32 when my mother told me I needed to be more like Derek, more ambitious, more successful. That Rachel was nice, but I could have done better if I'd tried harder. I asked what she meant. Someone from a better family, someone who fits. I was 34 when my brother told me my wife wasn't invited to his wedding. I was 34 when I finally understood that nothing I did would ever be enough. I sat in the dark house and felt something break free inside my chest, not the crack getting wider, something else, like a chain snapping. They'd spent my whole life making me feel small, making me believe I was less, that I owed them something for the privilege of being their son, their brother. And I believed it. I'd let them define me, let them convince me that their version of success was the only kind that mattered. Let them treat Rachel like she was the problem when she was the only person who'd ever actually seen me. The sun started coming up. I took out my phone, called the law firm. Patricia Sanders answered on the second ring. "Mr. Chen, I was hoping you'd call. I need to know everything, all of it, before the wedding. I'll meet you at your house in 30 minutes. Bring coffee." She hung up. I made coffee, strong black. And I started making a plan. Patricia Sanders was 60 years old with gray hair and eyes that could cut through steel. She sat at my kitchen table with a briefcase full of documents and no patience for excuses. "Your wife hired me 8 months ago. She wanted everything documented, every dollar your family owes her. Every lie they've told, every promise they've broken. Why? Because she knew eventually you'd have to choose, and she wanted you to have all the facts when you did." Patricia opened the briefcase, started laying out papers. "Let's start with your parents. 5 years ago, your father made a series of bad investments, lost most of their retirement. They were going to lose the house. Your mother was having panic attacks. Your father was drinking himself unconscious every night." She pushed a photo across the table. My dad, asleep on the couch, empty bottles on the floor. "Rachel found out through your mother. Your mother called her, crying, desperate, asked for help, begged her not to tell you." "Why would my mother call Rachel?" "Because Rachel is the only person in your family with any money, real money." Patricia pulled out Rachel's financial statements, investment accounts, savings, assets. "My wife was worth over $2 million. I stared at the numbers. "How?" "She inherited money from her grandfather, invested it wisely, grew it. She never told you because you never asked. You were too busy trying to impress your family to notice what you actually had." The words hit hard. Patricia kept going. "Rachel gave your parents $250,000, enough to save the house, pay off their debts. Start over. She structured it as a loan with extremely favorable terms, 5% interest, 10-year repayment period. She basically gave them free money. And they never paid her back. Not a single payment. When she tried to collect, your father told her she was being ungrateful. That family doesn't charge family interest. So she bought the house. She bought the house out from under the foreclosure. Your parents still live there. She charges them rent. $1,000 a month for a house worth $400,000. She's losing money every month keeping them housed." Patricia pulled out more documents. "Now Derek, 2 years ago he came to Rachel, said he was starting his own practice, needed seed money, needed clients, needed help. She gave it to him. She gave him $75,000, got him 3 major clients, took a standard 15% consultant fee. He was supposed to pay her back plus fees within 18 months. He didn't. He blocked her number. When she showed up at his office, he told his secretary to say he wasn't available. When she finally cornered him at your parents' house, he laughed at her, said she should be happy to help family." My hands were shaking again. Patricia wasn't done. "Brittany's family, the Parks, they want everyone to think they're rich, old money, established." She pushed forward bankruptcy filings, foreclosure notices, liens. "They lost everything 6 years ago, bad real estate deals. The few properties they still own are worthless. They're up to their necks in debt." Does Derek know? Derek knows. He's counting on it. He thinks marrying Brittany will give him access to their connections, their name. He doesn't care that there's no money. He just wants the status. And my parents. Your parents know. They're thrilled. They think Brittany's last name will make Derek look successful, that it'll reflect well on them. They don't care that it's all smoke and mirrors. Patricia leaned back in her chair. Your family is built on lies, Marcus, every single one of them. They've spent years pretending to be something they're not, and they've done it on your wife's money. Why would Rachel help them if she knew they were lying? Because she loves you, because she thought if she could keep their world from collapsing, you wouldn't have to see them for what they are. She was protecting you. By letting them treat her like garbage. She thought you'd wake up eventually, figure it out on your own, but you didn't. You kept choosing them. Kept defending them, kept making excuses. Patricia started packing up the documents. So she gave you this, all of it, every ugly truth, because she's done protecting them, and she's done waiting for you to grow a spine. What happens if I do nothing, if I just go to the wedding and keep quiet? Rachel files for divorce Monday morning, and she calls in every debt. Your parents lose the house. Derek loses his practice. Your family implodes, and she walks away clean. And if I tell the truth, then you burn it down yourself, you take control, you stop being their victim. Patricia stood up, handed me her card. The wedding is in 6 hours. Whatever you do, make sure you can live with it, because you can't go back after today. She left. I sat at the table with the documents and felt that broken chain inside my chest turn into something else. Anger. Pure, clean, righteous anger. They'd used my wife's money to fund their lies, then banned her from the wedding, called her uncomfortable, too outspoken, not good enough. While she paid their bills, I picked up my phone, called Derek. He answered on the third ring, sounded annoyed. Marcus, I'm busy. What? I'll be there today, 2 p.m., front row. Good, did you get the flowers? Yeah, I got everything I need. I hung up. Then I got dressed, put on my best suit, the one Rachel bought me for our anniversary. And I drove to the wedding venue with a briefcase full of truth. The venue was everything you'd expect, elegant, expensive, designed to impress. White chairs in perfect rows, flowers everywhere, a string quartet playing something classical, people in designer clothes air kissing and pretending they actually liked each other. I arrived 2 hours early, found Derek in the groom's suite. He was standing in front of a mirror adjusting his tie. 3 groomsmen were drinking champagne and laughing about something. Marcus finally helped me with this. I walked over, fixed his tie. He didn't say thank you. You nervous? Why would I be nervous? This is the best day of my life. One of the groomsmen laughed. Landing Brittany Park, man, you won the lottery. Derek grinned. Yeah, I really did. They toasted, clinked glasses, celebrated Derek's brilliant future. I excused myself, walked out to the main hall, found the wedding planner, a stressed woman named Monica with a clipboard and a headset. Hi, I'm Marcus, best man. I need to make a change to the ceremony. She looked up, frazzled. What kind of change? I need 5 minutes after the vows, before the kiss. I have something to say. That's not in the schedule. It is now. Talk to Derek if you want, but I'm doing it either way. Something in my voice made her step back. Fine, 5 minutes, keep it appropriate. Oh, it'll be appropriate. I found my seat, front row, right side, next to my parents. My mother was wearing a cream-colored dress that probably cost more than my car. My father had on a tuxedo. They both looked pleased with themselves, like they'd won something. My mother kissed my cheek. Marcus, darling, you look handsome. Where's Rachel? You know where Rachel is, Mom. Oh, right, well, it's for the best. Today is about family. Family, the word tasted like metal in my mouth. Guests started arriving. Brittany's family sat on the left, mostly older people in expensive clothes with plastered smiles. My family sat on the right, cousins, aunts, uncles, people who'd spent years telling me I wasn't good enough. The music changed, everyone stood. Brittany walked down the aisle in a white dress that probably cost $30,000. She looked beautiful, confident, like she'd been born for this moment. Derek watched her with that same grin, like he'd won the lottery. They met at the altar. The officiant started talking, something about love and commitment and building a future together. I stopped listening. Instead, I opened the briefcase at my feet, pulled out the documents, organized them, made sure I had everything I needed. My mother leaned over. "Marcus, what are you doing?" "Just getting ready for my speech, Mom." "Your speech isn't until the reception." "Plans changed." She looked confused, started to say something else, but the officiant was talking about the vows. Derek and Brittany faced each other, held hands, said words about forever. Then came the rings, the promises, the moment. "If anyone objects to this union, speak now or forever hold your peace." The officiant said it like a joke, like no one would ever actually object. I stood up. The room went silent. Every head turned. Derek's face went white. "Marcus, sit down." "No, I have something to say." The officiant looked at Monica. Monica looked panicked. Derek looked furious. "Marcus, this isn't the time." "Actually, Derek, this is exactly the time, because this whole day is built on lies, and I think your bride deserves to know the truth before she makes the biggest mistake of her life." Brittany's eyes went wide. My mother grabbed my arm. "Marcus Chen, you sit down right now." I pulled away from her, walked to the front, stood next to Derek. He was shaking, rage and panic. "You're making a scene." "No, I'm telling the truth, something this family wouldn't recognize if it hit them in the face." I turned to face the crowd, over 200 people, all of them staring. My father stood up. "Son, don't do this." "Don't call me son, you lost that right when you decided to use my wife's money to fund your lies." The room erupted in whispers. I pulled out the first document, held it up. "This is a deed for my parents' house, the house they've claimed to own for 35 years, except they don't own it. They haven't owned it for 3 years. Want to know who does?" Silence. "My wife, Rachel Chen, the woman who wasn't good enough to be invited today, she owns their house, because 3 years ago they were going to lose it to foreclosure, and she saved them." My mother's face went red. "Marcus, stop." "She gave them $250,000 as a loan. They promised to pay her back. They never did. Not a single payment, and when she asked about it, Dad told her she was being ungrateful." I looked at my father. He was pale, sweating. "But she kept them housed anyway, charges them $1,000 a month in rent for a house worth $400,000. She loses money every month keeping you comfortable." I pulled out the next document. "And Derek, my successful lawyer brother, the one who supposedly made it big." I held up the papers. "Derek's firm is a joke. He's 3 months behind on rent. He has no partners, no associates. He's drowning in debt." Derek lunged at me. I stepped back. 2 groomsmen grabbed him. "Get off me, Marcus, I swear to God." 2 years ago, Derek came to Rachel, asked for money. She gave him $75,000, set him up with clients. He was supposed to pay her back. He never did. Instead, he blocked her number and told her to stop being petty. Brittany was crying now, mascara running down her face. "And the Parks, Brittany's family, the ones everyone thinks are so wealthy and established." I pulled out the bankruptcy filings. "They're broke, filed for bankruptcy 6 years ago, lost almost everything. The properties they still own are worthless. They're in debt up to their eyeballs." Brittany's father stood up. His face was purple. "You little bastard, how dare you? How dare I tell the truth? How dare you pretend to be something you're not and look down on the one person who's been keeping all of you afloat?" I turned back to Derek. "You banned my wife from this wedding, called her uncomfortable, said she didn't fit. While she paid your bills, saved your practice, kept our parents housed." Derek was shaking, tears in his eyes, not sad tears, angry ones. "You're ruining my wedding." "No, I'm saving your bride from making a terrible mistake." I looked at Brittany. "He doesn't love you, he loves your last name. He thinks marrying you will make him look successful. Give him status, he doesn't care that your family is broke, he just wants the connections." Brittany looked at Derek, searching his face. "Tell him he's lying, Derek." Derek didn't say anything. "Derek." He looked away. She ripped off her veil, threw it at him. I can't believe this, I can't believe any of this. She ran, her bridesmaids ran after her, the room exploded in chaos, people shouting, my mother sobbing, my father trying to grab me. I pulled away, walked back down the aisle, past all those shocked faces. Monica, the wedding planner, was standing in the back. She looked like she might pass out. Was that appropriate enough for you? I walked out into the parking lot, got in my car, drove away. Left them all standing there in their expensive clothes with their expensive lies falling apart around them. My hands were shaking so badly I had to pull over twice. Not from fear, from adrenaline, from the weight of 34 years of silence breaking free all at once. I drove past strip malls and gas stations and didn't see any of it, just kept seeing Derek's face. The shock, the rage, the humiliation. Good. Let him feel what I'd felt for years. Let him stand there and understand what it's like to be exposed, to have everyone see you for what you really are. My phone started ringing, my mother, then my father, then Derek, then numbers I didn't recognize, probably relatives, probably Brittany's family. I turned it off. Drove in silence. The sun was high when I pulled into my driveway. The house looked the same as when I'd left, empty, quiet, waiting. I sat in the car for 10 minutes, trying to figure out what happened next, trying to understand what I'd just done. I destroyed my family, burned every bridge, made sure they'd never forgive me. And I felt nothing but relief. The front door opened, Rachel stepped out onto the porch. She was wearing jeans and an old sweater, no makeup, hair in a ponytail. She looked beautiful. We stared at each other across the driveway. Then she smiled, not a big smile, small, sad, proud. I got out of the car, walked toward her. She met me halfway. You did it. I did it. How do you feel? Honestly, I have no idea. She reached up, touched my face. I'm proud of you. Those 4 words broke something loose inside me. I started crying, real crying, the kind that comes from somewhere deep and old and hurt. She held me right there in the driveway, let me fall apart. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, I should have done this years ago, I should have stood up for you, I should have seen what they were doing. SHH, you did it today, that's what matters. They're never going to forgive me. They were never going to change, you can't lose something you never really had. We stood there until I could breathe again, then she led me inside, made me sit at the kitchen table, made tea, set a cup in front of me. Tell me everything. So I did, every word, every moment, the look on Derek's face, the sound of my mother sobbing, Brittany running, the shocked silence. Rachel listened without interrupting. When I finished, she was quiet for a long time. You know what happens now, right? They'll never speak to me again. Probably not. Your phone is going to explode. People are going to take sides. Your family is going to tell everyone you're crazy, jealous, that you ruined Derek's life. I know. And you're okay with that. I thought about it, really thought about it. Yeah, I am. She reached across the table, took my hand. Then we start over, we build something that's actually ours. No more trying to please people who will never be pleased. No more pretending everything is fine when it's not. What if I can't do it? What if I'm not strong enough? Marcus, you just stood up in front of 200 people and told the truth when it would have been easier to stay quiet. You're stronger than you think. My phone buzzed, I turned it back on out of habit. 73 missed calls, 46 texts, 3 voicemails. Rachel looked at it. You don't have to answer any of that, not today, maybe not ever. I should probably listen to the voicemails, make sure no one died. You sure? No, but I'll do it anyway. I put the phone on speaker, hit play. The first message was from my mother. Marcus, how could you do this to your brother, to this family? You've embarrassed us, humiliated us. Your father and I are devastated. Call me back immediately. Her voice was ice, no tears, just fury. The second message was from Derek. You're dead to me, you hear me? Dead, you just destroyed my entire life, my marriage, my career, everything. I hope you're happy. I hope it was worth it, because you're going to regret this for the rest of your pathetic life. His voice cracked at the end, still angry but scared too. The third message was different, a woman's voice, calm, measured. Mr. Chen, this is Brittany Park. I need to speak with you. Please call me back at this number. It's urgent. Rachel raised her eyebrows. The bride wants to talk to you. Apparently. You going to call her back? Should I? That's up to you. I stared at the phone. Part of me wanted to throw it in the trash, block everyone, move to another state. But another part of me was curious. What could Brittany possibly want to say? I called the number. She answered on the first ring. Mr. Chen. Yeah, you wanted to talk. Yes, can we meet somewhere private? Why? Because I need to know if what you said was true, all of it, and I need to hear it from you. Where's Derek? I have no idea. I left him at the venue. I don't want to see him right now, maybe ever. Brittany. Please, 1 hour. There's a coffee shop on 5th Street. I'll be there at 6. She hung up before I could answer. Rachel was watching me. You're going to go, aren't you? I think I have to. Why? Because she deserves the truth, the whole truth, not just what I said at the wedding. You already gave her the truth. I gave her pieces, documents, facts. She needs to understand why it matters. Rachel sighed, but she was smiling. You're too good, you know that. I'm really not. Yeah, you are. That's why they took advantage of you for so long. She stood up, kissed my forehead. Go meet her, tell her everything, but Marcus, don't let her manipulate you. Don't let her make you feel guilty for telling the truth. I won't. Promise. Promise. I grabbed my keys, drove to the coffee shop on 5th Street, and prepared to tell the truth one more time. Brittany was sitting in the back corner when I arrived. She'd changed out of the wedding dress. Now she wore jeans and a t-shirt. Her face was clean, no makeup, eyes red from crying. She looked younger, smaller, less like the confident bride and more like a scared woman who just watched her life explode. I sat down across from her. She had 2 cups of coffee waiting, pushed one toward me. Thanks for coming. What do you want to know? Everything. Start from the beginning. So I did. I told her about growing up with Derek, about being the forgotten son, about watching my parents worship my brother while I faded into the background. I told her about meeting Rachel, about my family hating her immediately, about years of watching them treat her like she wasn't good enough. I told her about the money, every detail, every loan, every unpaid debt, every time Rachel had saved them and they'd thanked her by dismissing her. Brittany listened without interrupting. Her coffee went cold. She didn't touch it. When I finished, she was quiet for a long time. Did Derek know about my family's bankruptcy? According to my wife's lawyer, yes, he knew. And he was going to marry me anyway. He was going to marry you because of it. He wanted your name, your connections. He thought it would make him look successful. She closed her eyes. Tears leaked out. I loved him. I actually loved him. I'm sorry. Don't be. You saved me from making the worst mistake of my life. She opened her eyes, looked at me. Why did you do it? Why tell the truth now? Because they banned my wife from the wedding, the woman who saved all of them, and I was going to let them get away with it. I was going to stand next to Derek and smile and pretend everything was fine. What changed? I saw the documents. I saw proof of everything they'd done, and I realized I'd been making excuses my whole life. Convincing myself that family was supposed to be like this, that I owed them loyalty even when they gave me nothing back. Brittany nodded slowly. Your brother called me 17 times, left 12 voicemails, all of them begging me to forgive him. Saying you lied, that you're jealous, that you've always been jealous of him. Did you believe him? No, because I looked up your wife, found her company, her background, everything you said checks out. She's exactly who you said she is. She pulled out her phone, showed me Rachel's company profile, her net worth, her credentials. She's incredible, and your family treated her like garbage. Yeah, they did. How do you live with that, knowing you let it happen? The question hurt, but it was fair. I don't know yet. I'm still figuring that part out. Brittany finished her cold coffee, set the cup down. I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest. Okay. Do you think Derek ever loved me, even a little? I wanted to lie, to give her something soft to hold on to. But I'd promised myself I was done with lies. I don't think Derek knows how to love anyone except himself. I think he loved the idea of you, the status, the image, but you, the real you, I don't think he ever bothered to find out who that was. She started crying again, quiet tears. Thank you for being honest. I'm sorry. Stop apologizing, you didn't do anything wrong, he did, they all did. She wiped her eyes with a napkin. What happens now to your family? I don't know, probably nothing good. My wife owns my parents' house. Derek owes her money, they'll all turn on me, tell everyone I'm crazy, that I ruined everything out of spite. And you're okay with that? I have to be because the alternative is going back to who I was, and I can't do that anymore. Brittany stood up, extended her hand. Thank you, Marcus, for having the courage to tell the truth, even when it cost you everything. I shook her hand. What are you going to do? I'm going to go home, pack up Derek's things, leave them on the curbs, then I'm going to start over, figure out who I am without him. Good luck. You too. She walked out, left me sitting there with 2 empty coffee cups and the weight of what I'd done settling into my bones. My phone rang, Patricia Sanders. Mr. Chen, I heard about the wedding. News travels fast. Your brother's lawyer called me, threatening to sue you for defamation. I told him to try it. Every word you said is documented and true. What about my parents? Your mother left me 3 voicemails, all of them demanding I tell her who gave you those documents. I told her attorney-client privilege prevents me from discussing the matter. Is Rachel in trouble? Not even a little, she's the creditor. She holds all the cards. If anything, your family should be worried about her calling in those debts. Is she going to? That's between you and your wife, but Marcus, you did the right thing today. It took guts. Doesn't feel like it. It never does. Doing the right thing usually feels terrible in the moment, but you'll be able to look at yourself in the mirror tomorrow. That's more than your family can say. She hung up. I drove home, the sun was setting, orange and pink across the sky, beautiful and indifferent. Rachel was in the living room when I walked in. She'd been waiting. How'd it go? She believed me, asked if Derek ever loved her. I told her the truth. Which was that he loved the idea of her, not the actual person. Rachel's expression softened. Come here. I sat next to her on the couch. She pulled my head onto her shoulder. You did good today. I destroyed my family. No, you exposed them, there's a difference. They're never going to forgive me. Marcus, look at me. I lifted my head, she cupped my face in her hands. They were never going to love you the way you needed them to. You could have spent the rest of your life trying to earn their approval and you would have died waiting. Some people are incapable of seeing value in others. That's not your failure, it's theirs. I know, but it still hurts. Of course it hurts, you just lost your family, that's supposed to hurt, but you gain something too. What? Your self-respect, your integrity, and me. You finally chose me. After 6 years, you actually chose me. She was right. For the first time in our marriage, I'd put her first, put us first, even when it cost me everything else. I'm sorry it took me so long. I'm not, because now I know who you are when it matters, and I like that person a lot more than the one who was trying to make everyone else happy. We sat there until it was dark, until the phone stopped ringing, until the world outside faded away and it was just us. What happens now? I asked. Now we figure out what we want our life to look like, without them, without their expectations, just us. I don't know how to do that. Neither do I, but we'll figure it out together. She kissed me, and for the first time in years, I felt like I was exactly where I was supposed to be. The next 3 days were brutal. My phone didn't stop, calls from relatives, texts from family friends, emails from people I hadn't heard from in years. All of them with the same message. How could you? What's wrong with you? You destroyed your brother's life. Your parents are devastated. You should be ashamed. Some were angry, some were disappointed. Some pretended to be concerned while twisting the knife. My Aunt Linda called. She'd always been my mother's best friend. Marcus, sweetheart, I'm worried about you. Your mother said you've been under a lot of stress. Maybe you should talk to someone, a therapist, someone who can help you work through whatever is going on. Translation, you're crazy. Get help. My cousin Jason texted. Dude, what the hell? Derek is my boy. You just screwed him over in front of everyone. That's not cool. Family is supposed to have each other's backs. Translation, you betrayed the family. You're out. My Uncle Robert left a voicemail. Marcus, I'm disappointed. I thought you were better than this. Your parents raised you to be a good man, to respect family, to keep private matters private. Instead, you aired dirty laundry at a wedding. That's low class. That's not who we are. Translation, you embarrassed us. You made us look bad. Not one person asked if I was okay. Not one person asked why I'd done it. Not one person wanted to hear my side. Rachel read some of the messages. She got angry in a way I'd never seen. Block them, all of them. They're family. No, they're people who share your DNA. There's a difference. Real family doesn't treat you like this. She grabbed my phone, started blocking numbers, deleting messages, cutting people off. Rachel, stop. No, you're done letting these people make you feel guilty for telling the truth. They don't deserve access to you. She blocked 37 numbers, deleted 86 messages, created a new email filter to send anything from my family to spam. When she was done, she handed the phone back. There, now you can breathe. And I did. The silence was terrifying and liberating at the same time. On day 4, a letter arrived, hand-delivered, my father's handwriting on the envelope. Rachel found it first, brought it to me while I was making breakfast. You don't have to read this. I know, but I want to. I opened it at the kitchen table, 2 pages, blue ink, shaky handwriting. Marcus, I'm writing this because your mother can't. She's too upset, too hurt by what you did. I won't pretend to understand why you chose to humiliate us at Derek's wedding. I don't know what we did to deserve such cruelty from our own son, but I need you to understand the consequences of your actions. Derek's engagement is over. Brittany won't speak to him. Her family is threatening legal action. His practice is in shambles because you destroyed his reputation. He's talking about leaving the state, starting over somewhere no one knows him. Your mother hasn't slept in 3 days. She cries constantly. She keeps asking what she did wrong, how she failed you so badly that you'd turn on your own family. As for me, I'm ashamed. Ashamed that I raised a son who would betray his own blood, who would air family business in public, who would destroy his brother's happiness out of jealousy. Because that's what this is, isn't it? Jealousy. Derek has always been more successful, more ambitious, more everything, and you couldn't stand it. So you sabotaged him on the most important day of his life. You mentioned money, loans, debts. Those were private family matters. We would have handled them in time. But you took something private and made it public. You hurt us to make yourself feel important. I want you to know that your actions have consequences. You are no longer welcome in our home. You are no longer part of this family. Your mother and I have decided to cut ties completely. We cannot have someone in our lives who would do what you did. Derek agrees. He wants nothing to do with you. He's asked me to tell you that if you ever contact him again, he'll file a restraining order. This is your doing, Marcus. You destroyed this family. You took something beautiful and loving and tore it apart. I hope you're happy. I hope it was worth it. Because you've lost us forever. Dad. I read it twice, then set it on the table. Rachel was watching me, her face pale. Marcus. It's fine. It's not fine. That letter is manipulative garbage. He's trying to make you feel guilty for their mistakes. I know. Do you? Because you look like you're about to cry. I was, but not for the reasons she thought. I'm not sad, I'm relieved. What? They cut me off. They did it first, which means I don't have to feel guilty about walking away. They made the choice for me. Rachel sat down, took my hand. You're really okay? Yeah, for the first time in my life, I'm free. They can't hold anything over me anymore. I don't owe them anything. I can just be done. I stood up, walked to the fireplace, put the letter in, lit a match, watched it burn. Rachel came up behind me, wrapped her arms around my waist. I'm proud of you. For burning a letter. For letting go. We stood there watching the paper turn to ash, watching the words disappear, watching the past become smoke. My phone buzzed, unknown number. I almost ignored it, but something made me answer. Hello, Mr. Chen, this is Gregory Park, Brittany's father. My stomach dropped. Mr. Park, I need to speak with you in person. It's about your brother and my daughter. I don't think that's a good idea. Please, 1 hour, I'll meet you wherever you want. I need to understand what happened. The truth, not the version Derek is telling everyone. Rachel was shaking her head, mouthing no. But something in his voice made me pause. Where? Same coffee shop, 6 p.m., I'll be alone. He hung up. Rachel looked furious. Marcus, no, you don't owe these people anything. He's not asking for me to apologize, he's asking for the truth. You already gave him the truth at the wedding. I gave him pieces, he wants the whole story. So what, let him figure it out himself. Rachel. No, you've done enough, you've told the truth, you've lost your family. You've burned every bridge, you don't have to keep explaining yourself to people who should have believed you in the first place. She was right, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I needed to do this. 1 hour, that's it, I'll tell him everything, answer his questions, then I'm done. Rachel sighed. Fine, but I'm coming with you. You don't have to. Yes, I do, because someone needs to make sure you don't let him guilt you into taking any of this back. We drove to the coffee shop together. Rachel held my hand the whole way. And I prepared to tell the truth one more time. Gregory Park was not what I expected. I'd seen him at the wedding, tall, distinguished, expensive suit, the kind of man who looked like he'd been born with money. But sitting across from me in that coffee shop, he looked smaller, older, tired. Rachel sat next to me, arms crossed, ready to fight. Gregory ordered coffee, didn't drink it, just held the cup like he needed something to do with his hands. Thank you for meeting me. What do you want? I want to understand, I need to know if everything you said at the wedding was true, all of it. Why? So you can sue me, threaten me, tell me I ruined your daughter's life. No, so I can thank you. Silence. Rachel uncrossed her arms, leaned forward. What? Gregory looked at both of us. My daughter was about to marry a man who didn't love her, who wanted her last name more than he wanted her. You stopped that from happening. You saved her from years of pain. I also humiliated her in front of 200 people. Yes, you did, and she's hurt, angry, embarrassed, but she's also free, and in time she'll realize that humiliation was a gift. He set down his coffee, pulled out a folder, pushed it across the table. This is everything I've learned about Derek Chen in the last 4 days. I hired investigators, they worked fast. I opened the folder, inside were documents, photos, bank statements, text messages. Derek had 3 credit cards maxed out, total debt over $90,000. He'd been evicted from 2 apartments in the last 3 years for non-payment. He had a DUI from 2 years ago that he'd managed to keep quiet. And he'd been seeing another woman for 6 months, while engaged to Brittany. Photos of Derek with a blonde woman, kissing, holding hands, getting into a hotel together. My hands shook. He was cheating on her. For half a year with a paralegal from his building, she had no idea he was engaged. When my investigators talked to her, she was shocked. Said Derek told her he was single, that he was building a practice and couldn't get serious yet. Rachel grabbed the photos, looked through them, her jaw clenched. Your brother is a piece of work. Gregory nodded. I wanted Brittany to marry well, to someone with prospects, someone who could provide. I pushed her toward Derek because he seemed successful, put together. I didn't do my homework, I didn't look beneath the surface. Why are you telling me this? Because you were right about all of it. Derek is a fraud, your parents enabled him, and your wife paid for all of it while they treated her like garbage. He looked at Rachel. Mrs. Chen, I owe you an apology. At the wedding, I called you names, said terrible things, I was angry. Embarrassed, I wanted to blame someone for the disaster, but the truth is, you were trying to help, and my daughter's life is better because of what you and your husband did. Rachel's expression softened slightly. Apology accepted. Gregory turned back to me. What are you going to do now? Your family cut you off. I heard about the letter. How do you know about that? Your mother is telling everyone she's painting you as unstable, jealous, she's trying to control the narrative. Let her, I'm done caring what people think. Good, because I want to offer you something. He pulled out a business card, handed it to me. My company does real estate development. We need engineers, good ones, people with integrity, people who aren't afraid to tell the truth even when it's hard. I stared at the card. You're offering me a job. I'm offering you an opportunity, double your current salary, better benefits, and a chance to work with people who value honesty over appearances. Rachel grabbed my arm. Marcus, this is huge. Why would you do this? Gregory smiled, sad, tired. Because you did what I couldn't, you stood up to your family, you chose truth over comfort. That's rare, that's valuable, and I want people like that working for me. He stood up, extended his hand. Think about it, call me when you decide. He walked out, left us sitting there with a folder full of secrets and a job offer that could change everything. Rachel was grinning. Did that just happen? I think so. You're going to take it right. I don't know, is this real, or is he trying to manipulate me? Does it matter? It's a good offer, way better than what you have now, and you'd be working for someone who respects you. She was right, but I couldn't shake the feeling that nothing this good happened without strings. I need time to think. Think fast, because opportunities like this don't come around twice. We drove home, the sun was setting again, another day ending, another chance to start over. That night I looked up Gregory Park's company, read reviews, checked their projects, talked to engineers who'd worked there. Everything checked out, he was legitimate, the company was solid, the offer was real. At midnight I made the call. Mr. Park, it's Marcus Chen, I accept. Excellent, start Monday, 9 a.m., welcome to the team. I hung up, Rachel was watching from the bedroom door. You did it. I did it. How do you feel? Terrified, excited, like maybe things are actually going to be okay. She crossed the room, kissed me. They are, because you finally stopped letting other people define what your life should look like. We went to bed, and for the first time in years, I slept without nightmares. Monday morning came too fast. I stood in front of the bathroom mirror at 6 a.m. trying to convince myself I could do this, that I deserved this, that I wasn't going to screw it up. Rachel came up behind me, fixed my tie. You look good. I look like I'm going to throw up. That too, but in a professional way. She turned me around, looked me in the eyes. Marcus, you're going to be great, you're smart, you're hardworking, you're honest. These people are lucky to have you. What if I'm not good enough? Then you'll learn, you'll grow, but you won't fail because you're too scared to try. That's not who you are anymore. She was right, the old Marcus would have sabotaged himself, found reasons why he didn't deserve good things, convinced himself he was better off staying small. But that Marcus died at the wedding. I drove to the office, glass building downtown, 20 stories, modern, clean, the kind of place that screamed success. I parked in the garage, took the elevator to the 15th floor, found the reception desk. Marcus Chen, first day. The receptionist smiled, genuine, warm. Welcome, Mr. Park said to send you straight to his office when you arrived. She gave me directions. I walked through hallways lined with windows, past conference rooms full of people working, past offices where engineers hunched over computers. Everyone looked busy, focused, no one looked miserable. I found Gregory's office, knocked. Come in. He was behind a desk covered in blueprints, reading, glasses on, coffee steaming next to his elbow. Marcus, good, you're early, I like that. Thank you again for this opportunity. Don't thank me, prove to me I made the right choice. He stood up, came around the desk. I'm going to be honest with you, some people here aren't going to like you, they're going to hear about what happened at the wedding, they're going to think you're a troublemaker, someone who airs dirty laundry. My stomach sank. But here's what I want you to remember, those people don't matter, what matters is the work, the integrity, the results, you do good work. You tell the truth, you treat people with respect, you'll be fine. He handed me a folder. This is your first project, bridge renovation, East Side. You'll be working with a team of 4. Lead engineer is a woman named Sarah Lynn. She's tough, smart, doesn't suffer fools. You'll learn a lot from her. When do I start? Now her office is 3 doors down. Go introduce yourself. I took the folder, walked out, found Sarah's office. She was mid-40s, short hair, wire-rimmed glasses, covered in pencil marks. She looked up when I knocked. You must be Marcus. That's me. Come in, sit, let's see if you're worth the hype. I sat, she pushed a blueprint toward me. This bridge, tell me what you see. I really looked, saw the weak points, the stress fractures, the places where the original design had cut corners. I pointed them out one by one, explained why they mattered, how they'd cause problems down the line. Sarah listened, didn't interrupt. When I finished, she leaned back in her chair. Gregory said you were good, he was right. Thank you. Don't thank me yet, this project is a nightmare. The city wants it done in 6 months. The budget is too small. The design is outdated. You're going to work nights, weekends, you're going to want to quit. I'm not going to quit. We'll see. She stood up, grabbed her jacket. Come on, let's go see the actual bridge. Can't fix what you haven't touched. We spent the day at the site, measuring, photographing, taking notes. Sarah asked 100 questions, tested my knowledge, pushed me to think harder. By 5 p.m. I was exhausted. She looked at her watch. Not bad for day 1, tomorrow we start the real work. This wasn't real work. This was the warm-up, go home, rest, see you at 7 a.m. I drove home, my brain hurt, my feet hurt, everything hurt. But I felt good, really good. Rachel was in the kitchen when I walked in. How was it? Hard, exhausting, amazing. Tell me everything. So I did, every detail, Sarah's tests, the bridge, the project, the feeling of being valued for what I could do instead of who I was related to. Rachel listened with this smile, this proud, happy smile. You found your place. Maybe. Definitely you're glowing. I'm sweaty and tired. And glowing, trust me. We ate dinner, watched TV, went to bed early because I had to be up at 6. And I realized something, I was happy, actually happy, for the first time in years. Not because everything was perfect, but because I was finally building something that was mine. 3 months passed. I worked 60-hour weeks, came home covered in dust and concrete, studied engineering texts at night, pushed myself harder than I ever had. The bridge project was brutal, every week brought new problems, budget cuts, design flaws, city inspectors with impossible standards. Sarah was relentless, she expected perfection, accepted nothing less. When I made mistakes, she called them out, loudly, in front of everyone. But when I did good work, she said so, and that meant something. The team started to respect me, not because of my name or my family, because I showed up, did the work, solved problems. One Friday night, Sarah invited the whole team out for drinks. Celebration, we'd hit a major milestone. I called Rachel, told her I'd be home late. Go have fun, you earned it. The bar was crowded, loud. Sarah bought the first round. To Marcus, 3 months in and he hasn't run away screaming, that's a record. Everyone laughed, raised their glasses. Speech, someone yelled. I shook my head, but Sarah pushed me forward. Come on, say something. I looked at the team, these people who become something like friends. I just want to say thank you for giving me a chance, for teaching me, for not judging me based on things that happened before I got here. Wait, what things? Someone asked. Sarah glared at them. Doesn't matter, Marcus is part of this team because he's good at what he does, that's all that matters. We drank, talked, laughed for a few hours. I forgot about my family, about the wedding, about everything that hurt. I got home at midnight. Rachel was asleep on the couch, TV still on. I covered her with a blanket. She stirred. How was it? Good, really good. I'm glad. She fell back asleep. I sat next to her, watched her breathe, thought about how close I'd come to losing this, to losing her. My phone buzzed, text from an unknown number. I almost deleted it, but something made me open it. Marcus, it's Derek, we need to talk. My blood went cold. I hadn't heard from my brother in 3 months, since the letter, since being cut off. I showed Rachel the text, she woke up fully. Delete it. What if he actually wants to apologize? He doesn't, he wants something, he always wants something. I should at least see what he has to say. No, you shouldn't, Marcus, you've built a good life, don't let him back in. She was right, but part of me was curious. What could Derek possibly have to say after everything that happened? I texted back. Say what you need to say here. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. I can't do this over text, meet me tomorrow, noon, the park downtown. Why? Because I need your help, please. I showed Rachel. She threw up her hands. Are you kidding me right now? He needs your help after everything he did. I know. So you're not going? I have to. Why? Give me one good reason why you owe him anything. Because I need to know what he wants and I need to say no to his face, end it for real. Rachel looked like she wanted to argue, but she just sighed. Fine, but I'm coming with you. Rachel. Non-negotiable, if you're going to walk into that trap, you're not doing it alone. We barely slept that night. The next morning we drove to the park, found Derek sitting on a bench. He looked bad, really bad. His hair was greasy, clothes wrinkled, he'd lost weight, his eyes were bloodshot. When he saw us he stood up, tried to smile. Marcus, Rachel, thanks for coming. What do you want, Derek? He looked at Rachel, back at me. I need money. Of course he did. Absolutely not. Marcus, please, I'm in trouble, real trouble. I owe people, bad people. If I don't pay them back, they're going to hurt me. That's not my problem. You're my brother. No, I'm the guy who used to be your brother, the one you said was dead to you, remember? Derek's face crumpled. I was angry, I didn't mean it. Yes, you did, and even if you didn't, I'm done. You used Rachel's money, you treated her like garbage, you made my life hell, and now you think you can show up and ask for help. I made mistakes, I know that, but I'm trying to change, I'm trying to be better. Rachel laughed cold, sharp. You don't want to be better, you want to be bailaid out, again, like always. Rachel, please, I'll pay you back, I swear. With what money? Your imaginary law practice, your non-existent clients. You have nothing, Derek, you are nothing, and that's not our problem. Derek looked at me, desperate. Marcus, we're blood, that has to mean something. It doesn't, not anymore, you taught me that, at the wedding, in that letter, every time you treated me like I didn't matter. I was wrong, I see that now. Too late. I stood up, Rachel stood with me. Lose my number, don't contact me again, and Derek, whatever trouble you're in, you earned it. We walked away, Derek called after us. Marcus, please, I'm begging you. I didn't turn around. We got in the car, drove away, left him sitting on that bench. Rachel was shaking. I can't believe him, the nerve, the absolute nerve. Are you okay? No, I'm furious, he hasn't changed at all, he just wants someone to fix his problems. I know. Did you want to help him, even a little? I thought about it, honestly thought about it. No, I felt nothing, no guilt, no obligation, nothing. Good, because if you'd said yes, I was going to divorce you. You mean that? Try me. I reached over, took her hand. I'm not going back, not to him, not to any of them, you're my family now, you're all I need. She squeezed my hand so hard it hurt. Good answer. We drove home and I never looked back. 6 months after the wedding, Sarah called me into her office. Zip. I sat, she had that look, the one that meant either I was getting fired or something big was happening. The bridge project is finished, ahead of schedule, under budget, the city is thrilled. That's great. Gregory is promoting you, lead engineer, your own team, your own projects. My brain stuttered. What? You earned it, you did excellent work, you solved problems other engineers couldn't, you led when I needed you to lead, you're ready. Sarah, I've only been here 6 months. And you've done more in 6 months than most engineers do in 3 years. Take the promotion, you deserve it. I don't know what to say. Say yes, say thank you, then get out of my office and go celebrate. I stood up, shook her hand. Thank you for everything, for giving me a chance, for pushing me. Don't get sentimental, you'll make me regret promoting you. But she was smiling. I called Rachel from the parking lot. Hey, what's wrong? Nothing's wrong, I got promoted. Silence. Then screaming, happy screaming. Oh my God, Marcus, that's amazing, I'm so proud of you. Can you take the afternoon off? I want to celebrate. Already leaving, meet me at home. I drove home, she was waiting on the porch. When I got out of the car, she ran to me, jumped into my arms, kissed me. Tell me everything. So I did: the promotion, the raise, the new office, the projects. She listened with tears in her eyes. Look at you, look at what you built. We built, I couldn't have done any of this without you. Yeah, you could have, but I'm glad I got to watch. We went out for dinner, nice place, white tablecloths, wine list, the kind of restaurant my family used to go to and never invite me. Halfway through dinner, my phone rang, unknown number. I almost ignored it, but Rachel nodded. Answer, it might be work. Hello. Mr. Chen, this is Detective Morrison with the police department. I'm calling about your brother, Derek Chen. My stomach dropped. What happened? He was arrested this morning, multiple charges, fraud, embezzlement. He's asking for you, says you're his emergency contact. I'm not his emergency contact. That's what his paperwork says. Are you willing to come down to the station? No, I'm not. Whatever he did, that's his responsibility. Sir, he's your brother. Not anymore. Good luck, detective. I hung up. Rachel was watching me, concerned. Derek got arrested. For what? Fraud, embezzlement. They wanted me to come down to the station. What did you tell them? I told them no. She reached across the table, held my hand. How do you feel? Honestly, nothing. I don't feel bad for him. I don't feel responsible. He made his choices. Good, because he did, and he's going to have to face the consequences. We finished dinner, drove home, made love like we had when we first met, when everything was new and possible. Later, lying in bed, I thought about my old life, the one where I would have dropped everything to help Derek, where I would have felt guilty for saying no, where I would have convinced myself that family was supposed to come first no matter what. That Marcus was gone. This Marcus knew better. 1 year after the wedding, Rachel and I bought a house. Nothing fancy, 3 bedrooms, big backyard, quiet neighborhood, far from my parents, far from the memories. We spent weekends painting walls and planting gardens, building something that was completely ours. I got a text from Brittany. Hey Marcus, long time coffee. I showed Rachel. Do you want to? I don't know, should I? Up to you, but I trust you to handle it either way. I texted back. Sure, when? Saturday 2 p.m., same coffee shop. Saturday came, I drove to the coffee shop. Brittany was already there. She looked different, lighter, happier. Marcus, thanks for meeting me. How are you? Good, really good actually. I'm in grad school now, psychology. Turns out getting left at the altar gives you a lot of material for therapy. She laughed, real laugh, not bitter. I wanted to thank you, face to face, for what you did. You already thanked me. I know, but that was when I was still angry and hurt. Now I've had time to process, to understand. You saved my life, Marcus. I would have married him, had kids with him, wasted years before I figured out who he really was. I'm glad you're okay. I'm more than okay, I'm free, and I wanted you to know that I don't blame you, not even a little. What about your father? He's good, actually. He wanted me to give you this. She handed me an envelope. Inside was a card. Marcus, thank you for being the kind of man who does the right thing even when it costs you everything. The bridge project was excellent. Looking forward to many more. Gregory. He's proud of you, we both are. My throat got tight. Thank you. How's Rachel? She's great, we bought a house, things are good. I'm happy for you, really. We talked for another hour about her school, my work, the future. It was easy, comfortable. When we left, she hugged me. Take care of yourself, Marcus, and take care of Rachel. She's special. I will. I drove home. Rachel was in the backyard planting roses. How'd it go? Good, she's doing well, going to grad school. And nothing, just closure for both of us. Rachel smiled, went back to her roses. That night my mother called, first time in a year. I stared at the phone. Rachel looked up from her book. You going to answer it? Should I? That's your call. I answered. Hello. Marcus, her voice was strained, tired. It's Mom. I know. We need to talk. About what? About Derek, about the family, about fixing this. There's nothing to fix, Mom. You cut me off, remember? We were hurt, you embarrassed us. I told the truth. You humiliated your brother at his wedding. I exposed him, there's a difference. Silence. He's in prison, Marcus, did you know that? I heard. And you don't care. What do you want me to say? That I'm sorry, I'm not. He broke the law, he's facing consequences, that's how life works. He's your brother. He stopped being my brother when he told me I was dead to him, when you backed him up, when all of you decided I wasn't worth keeping around. We made mistakes, but family forgives. Real family doesn't treat each other the way you treated me. Real family doesn't use people and throw them away when they're not useful anymore. Marcus, please, your father and I are getting older. We need you. There it was, the real reason for the call. You need me, not want need. What happened? Money run out. Silence again. We're having some difficulties. The house needs repairs, medical bills. We thought maybe Rachel could help again. I laughed cold hard. You want Rachel's money after everything you did to her, after banning her from the wedding, after calling her uncomfortable and outspoken and not good enough. We were wrong about her, we see that now. No, you don't, you just need what she has, and you think I'm stupid enough to convince her to help you. Marcus, we're your parents. You were my parents, now you're just people who share my DNA, and I don't owe you anything. How can you be so cruel? I learned from the best. I hung up. My hands were shaking, but not from fear, from anger, from the audacity. Rachel set down her book. Let me guess, they want money. Yep. What did you say? I said no, and I told her we're done for good. Rachel came over, sat next to me on the couch. I know that was hard. It wasn't, that's what scares me. It should feel hard, but it just feels right. That's because you've finally accepted what they are, and what they'll never be. What if I end up like them? What if I become that kind of person? You won't, because you already made a different choice. You chose truth over comfort. You chose me over them. You chose to build instead of take. She was right, I knew she was right. But part of me would always be that kid standing in the driveway holding a single invitation, wondering why I wasn't enough. Rachel saw it on my face. Hey, look at me. I looked. You are enough, you always were. They were the ones who couldn't see it. That's their failure, not yours. I pulled her close, held her, let the truth of that settle into my bones. We didn't talk about my family again that night. Instead, we talked about the future, about trips we wanted to take, projects we wanted to build, the life we were creating together. And for the first time, I didn't feel like I was running from something. I felt like I was running towards something better. 2 years after the wedding, I got a letter from Derek. Prison return address. I recognized his handwriting on the envelope. I almost threw it away, but Rachel said I should read it, just to know. So I opened it. Marcus, I don't expect you to forgive me, I don't expect you to write back, but I need to say some things, and you need to hear them. I'm in prison 5 years for fraud and embezzlement. I stole from clients, I forged documents, I did everything you accused me of and more. You were right about me, about all of it. I spent my whole life believing I was special, that I deserved success because of who I was, not what I did. Mom and Dad fed that belief. They told me I was destined for greatness, that people like me always land on their feet. But I'm not special, I'm just a guy who got away with lying for too long. Being here has given me time to think about what I did, who I hurt, the life I threw away. I destroyed Brittany, she loved me, really loved me, and I used her, I cheated on her. I was going to trap her in a marriage built on lies. I used Rachel, she gave me money, gave me chances, helped me when no one else would, and I thanked her by mocking her and refusing to pay her back. I used you my whole life, you were the backup plan. The one who would always be there no matter how badly I treated you. I took your loyalty and crumpled it up like trash. And mom and dad, they're broke now, really broke. The house is falling apart. They can't afford repairs. Can't afford their medications. They call me here sometimes, crying, asking when I'm getting out, when I can fix things. I can't fix anything. I broke it all. I heard about your promotion, about your success, about the life you built with Rachel. I want to say I'm happy for you, but honestly, I'm jealous, bitter, angry that you got everything I thought I deserved. But I'm also proud because you did something I never could. You stood up, you told the truth, you built something real instead of just pretending. I don't know if you'll ever read this or if you'll just throw it away, but I needed to say it, for me, not for you. I'm sorry, Marcus, for everything. I know sorry doesn't fix anything, but it's all I have left. Your brother, Derek. I read it 3 times, then set it on the kitchen table. Rachel picked it up, read it, set it back down. What are you thinking? I don't know, part of me wants to believe he's changed, that prison taught him something. And the other part thinks this is manipulation, another attempt to get what he wants. What do you want to do? Nothing. I don't want to write back, I don't want to visit, I just want to let it be. Then do that. I folded the letter, put it in a drawer, closed it. Do you think I'm heartless for not caring? No, I think you're healthy. You're protecting yourself from people who hurt you. That's not heartless, that's survival. She was right, but knowing that didn't make it easier. At work, Gregory called me into his office. Marcus, got a big one for you. He spread blueprints across his desk. A massive project, convention center downtown, multi-million-dollar budget. This is your project, your team, your reputation on the line. Sir, I've only been lead engineer for 6 months. And you've delivered every time. I trust you. Question is, do you trust yourself? I looked at the blueprints, saw the complexity, the challenges, the risk. Yes, I trust myself. Good, get started. I spent the next 6 months on that project. 80-hour weeks, constant problem solving, budget meetings, city council presentations. It was brutal, exhausting, the best work of my life. The team respected me, trusted me. When I made decisions, they followed. When I admitted mistakes, they helped me fix them. Sarah stopped by one day, watched me work. You've come a long way. I had a good teacher. Damn right you did. She left, but she was smiling. The convention center opened on schedule, under budget. The city threw a party, invited everyone involved. Gregory gave a speech, thanked the team, then he called me up. Marcus Chen, lead engineer, the man who made this happen. People applauded. I stood there feeling like an imposter, like someone was going to realize I didn't deserve this. But Rachel was in the crowd, clapping, beaming, proud. And I remembered I did deserve this. I'd earned it, through hard work, through integrity, through choosing truth over comfort. After the party, Rachel and I walked through the empty convention center. This is yours, you built this. We built it, the team. Stop being humble, take the credit, you did this. I looked around at the soaring ceilings, the perfect lines, the solid foundation. Yeah, I guess I did. We drove home, and I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Peace. 3 years after the wedding, Rachel got pregnant. We found out on a Tuesday morning. She took the test, came out of the bathroom crying. I'm pregnant. I stared at her, brain not processing. What? I'm pregnant, Marcus, we're having a baby. I started crying too, happy tears, scared tears, everything at once. We called the doctor, made an appointment, started planning. Rachel wanted to tell people, her family, friends, but she hesitated. What about your family? Do you want to tell them? No. You're sure? I'm sure this is ours, our family, not theirs. She nodded, relieved. We told her parents that weekend. They cried, happy tears, started planning baby showers immediately. My mother-in-law hugged me. You're going to be a wonderful father. How do you know? Because you already know what not to do, you won't make the same mistakes. She was right. I'd spent my whole childhood learning exactly what kind of parent I didn't want to be. The pregnancy was smooth. Rachel was tired, nauseous, but happy, glowing. We painted the nursery together, picked out furniture, argued about names. What about Henry? Too formal. Daniel. Everyone names their kid Daniel. Fine, you picked. James after my grandfather. She smiled, touched her belly. James Chen, I like it. 6 months in, I got another letter, prison return address. Derek again. I almost threw it away, but curiosity won. Marcus, I heard you're going to be a dad, congratulations. I don't know how I heard, word travels somehow. Maybe mom told someone who told someone, doesn't matter. I wanted to write because I think about you a lot, about the life you're building, the family you're creating. I'm getting out in 2 years. I've been thinking about what comes next, where I'll go, what I'll do. I know I have no right to ask this, but when I get out, can we talk just once, face to face? I'm not asking for forgiveness, or money, or anything except a conversation. I want to meet my nephew. I want to see who you've become. I want to try to be better. I understand if you say no, I deserve no. But if there's any part of you that's willing, please consider it. Derek, I showed Rachel. She read it, frowned. What do you think? I think he's manipulating you, using the baby to get back in. Maybe, or maybe he's genuine. Do you want him in James's life? That was the question, did I? No, I don't. He had his chance, he blew it. I'm not giving him access to my son just because he wrote a nice letter from prison. Rachel looked relieved. Good, because I was going to fight you on this. I wrote back one line. No, don't contact me again. I mailed it, and that was that. James was born on a cold November morning, 7 pounds, healthy, perfect. I held him for the first time and understood what people meant when they said your heart lives outside your body. Hey buddy, I'm your dad. I'm going to mess this up sometimes, but I promise I'll always see you. I'll always value you. You'll never have to earn my love. Rachel was crying, exhausted, beautiful. He's perfect. He really is. Her parents came to visit, held James, cried, took 1,000 photos. My phone rang, unknown number. I almost ignored it, but something made me answer. Hello. Marcus, it's your father. I hadn't heard his voice in 3 years. How did you get this number? I have my ways. Listen, I heard Rachel had the baby. We want to see him, meet our grandson. No. Marcus, please, we're his grandparents. You're nothing to him. You'll never be anything to him. That's not fair. We made mistakes, but we deserve a chance. You had chances, thousands of them. You used them all to hurt me, to hurt Rachel. You don't get any more. What are we supposed to do? Just never meet him. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. Stay away from my family. Stay away from my son. You're not welcome in our lives. Marcus, you're being cruel. No, I'm being smart. I'm protecting my son from people who would make him feel the way you made me feel. Small, worthless, never enough. We never meant to make you feel that way. Yes, you did. You meant every bit of it, and now you want to do it to him, use him, play favorites, make him compete for love that should be freely given. We wouldn't do that. You can't help it. It's who you are, and I won't let you near him. I hung up, blocked the number. Rachel was watching from the bed, James asleep in her arms. You okay? Yeah, I'm good. They're never getting near him. Good. I sat next to her, looked at our son, this tiny perfect human who would grow up knowing he was loved, valued, enough. He's going to have a better childhood than I did. Much better because he has you. And I believed her. 5 years after the wedding, Gregory retired. He called me into his office on a Friday afternoon. He looked tired, happy, ready. Marcus, I'm done, retiring, moving to Florida, playing golf until I die. Congratulations, sir. I'm promoting Sarah to partner, and I'm offering you her position, director of engineering. My brain short-circuited. Sir, I'm only 39. And you're the best engineer I've ever hired. You're ready, take the job. I don't know what to say. Say yes, then buy me a drink. I said yes. We went out for drinks, the whole team, celebrating Gregory, celebrating Sarah, celebrating me. Sarah pulled me aside. You've earned this, don't let anyone tell you different. Thank you for everything. Don't get sappy, you'll ruin your reputation. But she hugged me anyway. I went home. James was in the living room building with blocks, 4 years old, smart, curious, kind. Daddy. He ran to me. I picked him up. Hey buddy, guess what? What? Daddy got a promotion. What's a promotion? It means I did good work, and now I get to do more work. That's silly. Yeah, it kind of is. Rachel came out of the kitchen, flour on her face. She'd been baking. Did I hear promotion? Director of engineering. She screamed, ran over, kiss me. James giggled. Yo, kissing. Get used to it, kid. Your mom and I are gross. We had dinner, celebrated, put James to bed. Later, lying in bed, Rachel turned to me. Do you ever think about them, your family? Sometimes, not often. Do you regret it, cutting them off? No, best decision I ever made, besides marrying you. Good answer. She fell asleep. I stayed awake thinking. 5 years ago, I stood in front of 200 people and burned my life down, lost my family, destroyed relationships, made enemies. And I'd do it again without hesitation. Because I gained something better, self-respect, a real marriage, a career I was proud of, a son who would never doubt his worth. The next morning, my doorbell rang. I answered it in my pajamas. A woman stood there, mid-40s, professional-looking, briefcase. Marcus Chen. That's me. I'm Linda Foster. I represent your mother. She's filed a lawsuit. Grandparents' rights. She's demanding visitation with your son. My blood went cold. She's what? She claims you're denying her access to her grandson without cause. She's asking the court to mandate visitation. I took the papers, flipped through them, legal language, court dates, my mother's signature at the bottom. Rachel appeared behind me. What's going on? My mother is suing us. She wants access to James. Rachel's face went white, then red. Over my dead body. Linda looked uncomfortable. I'm just the messenger. Court date is in 3 weeks. You'll want to hire a lawyer. She left. I closed the door, stood there shaking. Rachel grabbed the papers, read them. Her hands were trembling. She can't do this. She can't just demand access. Apparently she can. Grandparents' rights are a thing. Not when the grandparents are toxic, not when they were cut off for good reason. I called Patricia Sanders, the lawyer who'd helped us before. She answered immediately. Marcus, it's been years. What's wrong? I explained the lawsuit, the demand for visitation. Patricia was silent for a moment. Does your mother have a relationship with James? Has she ever met him? No, never. I cut contact before he was born. Good, that helps, and you have documented reasons for the estrangement. Everything, the money, the abuse, the wedding, all of it. Send it to me, all of it. We're going to fight this, and we're going to win. We spent the next 3 weeks preparing, gathering evidence, documenting every interaction, every cruel word, every manipulation. The court date arrived. We walked into the courthouse together, united. My mother was already there, dressed nicely, hair done, playing the part of the grieving grandmother. My father sat next to her. He looked older, smaller. They saw me. My mother tried to smile. I looked away. The judge called us into chambers, a woman in her 50s, stern face, no nonsense. Mrs. Chen, you're claiming grandparents' rights. Explain why you believe you're entitled to see your grandson. My mother dabbed her eyes with a tissue. Your Honor, my son has cut me off from my only grandchild for no reason. I've never met this child. I've never been given a chance. All I want is to be part of his life. The judge looked at me. Mr. Chen, your response. Patricia stood. Your Honor, my client cut contact with his parents for documented, substantial reasons: emotional abuse, financial manipulation, a pattern of toxic behavior spanning decades. She handed over our evidence: bank statements, loan documents, letters, text messages. The judge read through them. Her expression changed. Mrs. Chen, you borrowed $250,000 from your daughter-in-law and never repaid her. My mother's face went red. That was a family matter. We were going to pay her back. But you didn't, and according to these documents, you called her ungrateful when she asked for repayment. I was upset. I didn't mean it. The judge kept reading. And you banned her from your other son's wedding while living in a house she purchased to save you from foreclosure. Your Honor, there were complications, family dynamics you don't understand. I understand perfectly. You used your daughter-in-law's money, then treated her with contempt, and when your son finally stood up for his wife, you cut him off. My mother looked panicked. He humiliated us at his brother's wedding in front of everyone. Because he told the truth about your financial situation. It was private. It was relevant, Mrs. Chen. I've reviewed this case thoroughly. You have no relationship with this child. You have a documented history of abusive behavior, and you cut off contact with your son first. You don't get to demand access now because it suits you. But he's my grandson. Biology doesn't entitle you to a relationship, especially when you've proven yourself harmful to the parents. This case is dismissed. Stay away from the Chen family. If you contact them again, I'll issue a restraining order. The gavel came down. My mother stood up, furious. Marcus, how could you do this? Security moved toward her. She backed off. My father just looked at me, sad, broken. I felt nothing. We walked out of the courthouse, into the sunlight, free. Rachel was crying, relief tears. It's over, she can't touch us. Not ever. We drove home, picked up James from her parents' house, told them what happened. James looked up at me with his big eyes. Daddy, who are those people? No one, buddy, no one important. And I meant it. 10 years after the wedding, I got a call from a hospital. My mother had a stroke, she was dying. The doctor said I was listed as next of kin. Did I want to come? I sat in my office staring at the phone. Rachel walked in. What's wrong? My mother is dying, they want me to come to the hospital. Rachel sat down, took my hand. What do you want to do? I don't know. Let me ask differently, if you don't go, will you regret it? I thought about it, really thought about it. No, I don't think I will. Then don't go. That sounds so cold. It's not cold, it's honest. She had your whole life to be a mother. She chose not to be. You don't owe her a deathbed reconciliation. What if she wants to apologize? Then she can write you a letter. You don't have to be there to receive it. She was right. I called the hospital back. This is Marcus Chen, I won't be coming. Contact my brother Derek if you need family consent for anything. I hung up. James was 10 now, playing soccer, doing well in school, happy. He didn't know about my parents, didn't know about Derek, didn't know about the wedding or the lawsuit or any of it. He just knew he had two parents who loved him, grandparents who adored him, a stable, peaceful home. That was enough. My mother died 3 days later. No one called me, no one sent an announcement. I only found out because I saw the obituary online. Margaret Chen, loving mother and grandmother, passed peacefully surrounded by family. Surrounded by family, the family that actually showed up, I guess. There was no mention of me in the obituary. I'd been erased, written out like I never existed. And it didn't hurt, not even a little. Rachel found me reading it. You okay? Yeah, I really am. Do you want to go to the funeral? No, that chapter is closed, has been for a long time. I closed the laptop, went outside where James was playing basketball. Hey Dad, watch this. He shot, missed, laughed anyway. Almost. You'll get it next time. I'd broken the cycle, that was what mattered. James would grow up knowing his worth. Knowing love wasn't conditional, knowing he didn't have to compete or perform or prove himself. He'd just be enough, always. 15 years after the wedding, I stood in front of a crowd giving a speech. Industry conference, engineering innovation. They'd asked me to speak about leadership. Leadership isn't about being the smartest person in the room. It's not about having all the answers. It's about integrity. It's about telling the truth even when lies would be easier. It's about choosing what's right over what's comfortable. I looked out at the audience, hundreds of faces, engineers, students, future leaders. 15 years ago, I made a choice that cost me everything. My family, my relationships, my sense of belonging. I stood up at my brother's wedding and told a truth no one wanted to hear. People shifted uncomfortably. Everyone said I was wrong, that I should have kept quiet, that family comes first no matter what. But here's what I learned. Sometimes the people who should love you most are the ones who hurt you worst, and staying silent to keep the peace doesn't protect you, it destroys you slowly from the inside. I paused, let that sink in. I chose truth over comfort. I chose my wife over people who never valued her. I chose my self-respect over their approval. And I lost them, all of them. But I gained something better. I gained the ability to look at myself in the mirror, to build a life based on integrity instead of lies, to raise a son who will never doubt his worth because I modeled what it means to stand up for yourself. So here's my advice: when you're faced with a choice between truth and comfort, choose truth, even when it costs you, even when people tell you you're wrong. Because being underestimated doesn't define your worth, it prepares you to prove them all wrong. The crowd was silent. Then someone started clapping, then another, then everyone. Standing ovation. I stepped off the stage. Rachel was waiting in the wings, James next to her, 15 years old now, tall, smart, kind. You did good, Dad. Thanks, buddy. Rachel kissed me. I'm proud of you still, always. We walked out together, the three of us, our family. Complete whole, built on truth instead of lies. That night lying in bed, Rachel turned to me. Do you ever wonder what would have happened if you'd stayed quiet, if you'd just gone to the wedding and played your role? Sometimes, not often. What do you think would have happened? I think I would have lost you, lost myself, spent the rest of my life being small to make other people feel big. Instead, I found out who I actually am, and I like him finally. She smiled, fell asleep. I stayed awake a little longer, thinking about the boy in the driveway with the single invitation, the man who stood in front of 200 people and burned it all down, the father who built something better from the ashes. They were all me, different versions, different choices. But this version, the one lying next